Hello, everyone, and welcome to another exciting episode of Exploring AI Tools with Dr. Finney, an initiative by the Holistic Medic Network. Here, we learn about AI tools that can make your daily task easier. Today is episode 9 of our 12-week series. And if today is the first time you're coming across us, do well to subscribe to this channel and turn on the post notification bell so you get notified anytime a new episode is aired. Right. So on today's episode, we are going to learn about how to create an app, a fully functional deployable app in seconds using AI. And the good and fun part of this is you don't need to know anything. You don't need to know anything about coding. All you need to do is to give a good text prompt for whichever app you want, and the AI tool is going to do all the heavy lifting and come up with an app for you, right? So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to share my screen, and we are going to go right into how to create an app with AI. Great. So the application we are going to be using today is called Llamacoder. Llamacoder. There are several AI tools that can help you achieve today's purpose. That is to help you create an app without needing to know how to code. But I chose Llamacoder for today's episode because it's very easy to use, and you can generate as many apps as you want for an unlimited number of times. So there are several applications. Some applications would require that you sign up, which is not required in Llamacoder. Some applications will require that you can only build an application a certain number of times in a specific period, maybe per day or per week or per month. That is not the situation in Llamacoder. Here you can build as many apps as you want for as many times as you want without needing to sign up, right? If you are new to this, the way to get into this interface that you can see on my screen is this. You just open any tab of your favorite browser, type in Llamacoder. I already have typed in a couple of times, and so that's why I'm getting the suggestion, but just type in Llamacoder. That should be okay. And then once you click enter, you're going to go into this interface on your Google search. Then you can go and look for the search results that says llamacoder.together.ai. All right. So you choose that one and you come into the interface that I was on before. Right. So this is the interface, and it's very easy and straightforward to use. What you want, you just type it in. Okay. So for example, you see there's a suggestion. Maybe let's just go along with the suggestion for the purposes of demonstration. So I could just say build a budgeting app. Okay. Once you do that, you click enter. The tool is going to take some time trying to put together what it needs in order to be able to serve the request that you have asked. Okay, so it's going to take a couple of seconds to do that. Once that is done, the app goes into full mode. So you can see on the right, the AI tool is writing all the code that is needed to generate the budgeting app. Okay, and I don't need to know any of this. The truth is, I don't even know how to code. I don't know the first thing about coding. I just know something very tiny about editing the code, but I don't know the first thing about coding. And with the invention of AI, I may not need to know. I am able to still produce a very solid application without needing to have any coding experience. Okay. So here you can see the application is set. So here you can see it says it's a budget tracker. Track your expenses and manage your budget. It has a tab for expenses. It has a tab for budget limits. And then it shows you an interface where you can add your expense. So amounts, the category, and then you'll describe your whatever the expense is and the date you made that expense. Okay, and right. So let me first deploy this app so that it becomes functional, and then we can make some edits to it. I'm going to show you how to do that. So once this is done, it gives you a preview. So the preview is just what we went through. If you want to interact with a preview, you don't have to do it directly. You first have to deploy the app and then interact with it. So I'm going to first share. That is how to deploy it. You share. Once you click share, the link to this app is copied. And so you just open a new tab and then paste it in and click enter. It's going to take a couple of seconds and then the app is going to be generated. Great. Once the app is generated here, now you can interact with it. Okay. All right. So let's say I spent, let's say, 50. Which category is this? This was transport. Traveled from Accra to, let's say, Tommy. So add the expense. So let me set a limit. I don't want to spend more than 90. Okay, so this is giving me an idea that I have spent 50 out of my 90. Okay, and I'm left with 40. Maybe what I also want to do is not just to set a budget tracker. I want to include an income so that I have an idea about the income I've made, the expenses I'm making, and how much I'm left with so that I can better plan. All right. So I can just make that edit here in follow up and say include a tab for income. Okay. And just make that request. Once I do that, the tool is going to hear my request and make that modification. And so it's going to generate an aspect for what I've just requested so that the app becomes more and more like what I want it to be. Okay. So if you were building with code, those were all the lines of code you needed to do in order to generate that app. Okay. All right. So here is better. I have my transactions. I have transactions, whether it's an expense or an income, and then have the financial summary, and then something that shows me all my recent transactions. Now, like I said, you cannot interact with a preview. If you interact with a preview, you will not get anything. Okay. Uh-huh. So it's best to share, deploy the app, and then interact from there. Right. So here I have my transactions, whether it is an expense or an income, the limits I want for my budget, and then my total income. Okay. So let me say I want to record my income. So this month I made, say, I was paid, say, $9,000. Okay. That was my salary. Okay. So let's say salary for May, and I add a transaction. Okay. So that's my total income. And then once the May started, I had to pay my tithes, if you believe in tithes. So let me just make it other. So let me say tithes for me. Made that. I needed to pay my rent. Rent costs, let's say, 800 cedis a month. So again, let me just say utilities and then say rent for me. And that is going to also come there. Okay. So here I see over here, I can get a summary of my total income, the expenses I've made, and what remains. Okay. Let's say I want to even make further refinements to this. I want to have a pie chart that shows a pictorial view of my expenses, my income. Okay. So what I'm going to do is just go here and say add a pie chart illustration of my income and various expenses. Okay, so you make that input, and then the app is going to go ahead and go on and on and on. All right. One of the things that happens sometimes in doing this is sometimes the app sort of runs into an issue. Okay. I'm hoping that it does run into one so that I can demonstrate to you how to resolve it. If it runs into an issue, all you need to do is to copy that issue and then put it in the chat area and ask it to run. It would correct itself and then give you a functional app again. Okay. Okay. So let's share and see what comes out from this. Okay. So this is not exactly what I even was hoping for. Let me refresh and see. Let's say functions of the previous version are no longer available. Include that. So, I mean, like what I just realized is the other functionalities that we had in the previous versions were not available. So I just asked it to do that. Let's see, hopefully the AI tool is able to do that and get me my pie chart as well. Okay, it seems everything is back now. Awesome. And so now I'm able to, let me try deploying the app and then see how it works. Right. Okay. So let me start with my income. I earned 10,000 Ghana cedis. That was my salary. That's my salary for May. My expenses, I paid my tithe, which was my tithe for May. Oh, so you see, when I add transaction, it does not work. That's because I put in a field a value that is not right. So an amount is supposed to be a numerical value, like 10,000, and I put in words. And so that's why it's not working. But if I change it to 1,000 cities, straight away it works. Okay, so that's one thing to also look out for. Okay, and then I spent 800 cities on utilities, say rent for May, and then I add the transaction. Then let me say I spent another 500 cities for food. So food items for me. And let me say someone out of the generosity of their hearts gave me 500 cities as a gift. So a gift from Mr. Akutu. Right. And further expenses, what did I do? Transport, spent another, let me say, 400 cities on transport for me. Okay, you need to send your family members some. So let me say 600 cities, others. So maybe family supports. And of course, sometimes you need to go out and have fun. So another 500 cities just for entertainment. So chilling. Right. Okay. So that's sort of sums it up for what I've done. So I can see that my total income was 10,500. Here says dollars, but you can make it cities. You can go back, code that it should change the value of the money into cities, not dollars. It will do that. My total expenses were 3,800, and now I still have a balance of 6,700. Okay, I can set budget limits. I can see my total income, how I had. Then I can go into visualization, and then it shows me a pie chart of what I've had, my how I've spent my money. Okay, that 11% was spent on transport, 13% on food, 21% on utilities, 13% on entertainment, and the rest was on into others, which is in this case my tithe. Okay, and I believe this is a good app for you to a good tool for you to use to create amazing apps. Whatever idea that comes into mind, you just try it out, see the interface it gives, and then you can go on to modify it to suit what you want. Okay. The amazing thing about this, like I mentioned, is that you can go on and on and on. There are times that as an AI tool, which is imperfect, it can crash. Okay. And so, and the way it crashes is if you give it too many instructions at a go. Okay. It's better to separate your instructions. For example, all these add-ons that I made, if I put all of it together and give it as a single prompt, it's likely that the tool may have glitches. Okay. So if I said, build me a budget tracker that has income, that has pie chart, and on and on and on and on, it's going to crash it. Okay. So just for a start, just build me a budget tracker. And then as it's done, I can make add-ons. And the AI tool is able to do a better job of putting it all together. Okay, so that's one thing to note. Yes, these apps that are built by Llamacoder, other AI tools like Towny.ai, they are applications that are called MVPs, minimum viable products, minimum viable products. And what an MVP is it's the initial app that is built mainly to get feedback from customers. And then based on those feedback, the app is later modified to a fully functional app. Okay, so it's like the prototype of the app you want to build. Okay, so you find that budget trackers mainly would have all of these functionalities. But I can modify it later, maybe add some pictures, add some links into it. But the apps that are built by these AI tools are what we call the MVP. So, for example, let's say I wanted to start a fresh juice business. Okay, I mean, for a start, just get a table and then get some oranges and get a nice transparent jug and then get some maybe ice cubes and then maybe a board and write fresh orange juice available 15 cedis per cup or something and get some disposable cups or 10 cedis per cup, get some disposable cups. Okay, and for a start I may just pitch it in my area and get the orange, slice them into two, squeeze them, maybe using a machine or something, squeeze them into the jug so that it's transparent, everybody can see, put in some ice cubes, put some ice cubes into the disposable cup. When someone comes to the stand, I pour it out into the disposable cup, and then they take it, they drink it, they enjoy it. What I'm doing is that even though that is my idea, that is the business I want to run, I'm running a prototype of it. And then as I see how my customers react to it, someone says, oh, this thing is so nice, I would like to come back again. Oh, this one, you have to change this, you have to do that. So the feedback I get from my customers helps me tailor the further processes down the line. Okay, so it would help me know, should I now get t-shirts, should I get branded cups, should I get a banner, should I get a proper stand that is customized, should I get customized cups. Okay, but if you're starting your business, you don't go straight ahead into all these customized things unless you have done some sort of testing of the waters to see how they work. Okay, so that testing of the waters to get the feedback from customers is what is called a minimum viable product. And that is what we have built today. And that is what I hope you continue to build in the days to come. Right. So that is what we have for today, how to build an app with AI tools. And trust me, there are far more exciting AI tools that can help you build mobile apps like Rock, RORK. There are AI tools that can help you clone websites. There are lots out there, and they are doing so many amazing things out there. The purpose of this initiative is to spark that fire in you to go out there and to keep exploring AI tools, look at which ones work for you, which ones help you in your daily task, and keep using them. Right. So it's been a very interesting journey for today, and we have another exciting episode come next week. Thank you for staying with us through till this point. It's been great having you. And for those in the class, as always, there's going to be an assignment in the Google Classroom for you to complete and submit. Right. As always, stay curious and keep exploring. Thank you so much, and bye for now.